And just before we get started, I'll put the agenda in the chat. There it is. Alrighty. Welcome everybody to this week's KubeVirt community meeting. It is the 15th of January 2025. Yeah, welcome. I hope you're all doing well wherever and whenever you are. Do we have anyone here that is new to this meeting, or if you've attended before and haven't taken the opportunity to introduce yourself? I'll take that as a no. All right, we'll move on. I will just highlight as well, if you could please add your name to the attendees here, roughly. Okay, with the 1.5 schedule, the beta was released today, I think. Cut. Tagged. Or it should have been. Is anyone here able to speak as to whether that has gone ahead?
Just checked and it didn't happen.
Hasn't happened. Well, there's still some hours in the day for whoever's in charge of doing that. While we're here, we'll also highlight we are getting reasonably close to the 1.5 feature freeze. That is the 12th of February with a GA of 5th of March. And between those two dates, we'll have our version 1.6 unconference once again in a very similar format to the one we did in October. All right. Next up, we're looking at currently open CFPs. There is a few, mostly KubeCons. There are 3 KubeCons out there: China, Japan, and India. They're all open. They're all in the middle of the year. February 2nd and March 23rd are their deadline dates. If you yourself know that you might be able to attend them and represent KubeVirt, or you know someone in the community who is in or near any of those locations and might be interested in representing the community, by all means, encourage them to submit, but also encourage them to let me know about it so I can help coordinate in any way, and if they need any help with their submissions. There's also Container Days in Germany, which has a deadline of March 31st, and it will be in September. We will be at FOSDEM, which is in a couple of weeks. We have, you'll find us as part of the CNCF stand. I have seen that we now have a location for that, but I don't know it off the top of my head. I'll have that for next week's meeting. And we've got a whole bunch of talks across the, the testing and infra room, and also the virtualization dev room, which is on Sunday, the 2nd of February this year. Also not in there because the schedule, I think, is just getting published today. But there's a bunch of KubeVirt talks that are being accepted for, what's the thing called? KubeCon. We have some at the Maintainer Summit. We have a Maintainer talk, and we're starting to see some KubeVirt related talks coming through in the main track. It's all very exciting. And if you will be attending, whether or not you're speaking either of those, once again, please let me know so we can organize some social stuff to do while we're all together. It's an important time. Next up, we have nothing on the agenda. So someone has added a follow-up to KubeVirt issue 13295. And whoever that is, I encourage you to unmute.
Sorry, 1 second. I'm grabbing the information. We are right now investigating how to do GVU live migration with the Venus protocol. And we are able to do when we have the Windows Linux host with a Linux guest operating system. But we are also investigating how to do the Windows version of the guest operating system. And this is a hard work. Anyway, we're gonna start to try that, because this is already part of the KMU latest version. Let me KMU Venus. Where is it? The latest version, if you see the latest version of KMU, Venus protocol is already implemented as part of the latest version of KMU. What I would like to know, what version of the KMU we are using today on KubeVirt? Where I find this information? Can you help me?
Yeah, I will find it out. I will put the link to the file that has these versions of KubeVirt and QEMU in the document. I need a few minutes.
And also, can you roll back about the release version that you was talking about, version 1.5 and so far, so on?
What was that about 1.5?
Yes, because I would like to have an update on a file that is nearby, that is the compatibility with the Kubernetes.
Oh, so 1.5 will be built on Kubernetes 1.32, which was released in December. You can find that at, we have a Signal repo. Let me get to that.
Can you show back again the file that you was showing, that show beta schedule to feature freeze and things like that? This one. See K8 support matrix. Can you also update that?
It gets updated automatically. And so because 1.5 hasn't been released,
when is released, then you update this. Oh,
yeah.
But can you explain what's gonna be there? Gonna be
Yeah.
1.5?
It'll be 1.5 and it'll be supported.
31 and 30, correct?
That's exactly correct.
And 29, when gonna be end of life?
In who can do the arithmetic here? 1.2, 1.5. It's going to be end of life in 3 more versions, which will be roughly the end of the year.
So end of 2025, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes,
I think.
because you are trying to use, we are still using 2020 129. That's why. And how to port with 1.5? There is no support, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now then we need to move. Thank you so much for your information anyway.
You're welcome. One thing is the, so you asked about the QEMU version. There's a bunch of things into chat. But I think And it looks like people have added to the so the QEMU version and a bunch of other Go version, code generator version, yada yada yada, is all included in the release notes. And I've just included a link into the chat.
Yes, but I think it's 9 point something.
9.0.0.0.0.
New latest version. Yes, that was released on December 10th. The changes. If you
Alrighty.
see the change log here, I'm gonna put on the chat.
So the first point, which I think is this following up on, looks as though it was added maybe last week. And looking into that issue, it seems to have been resolved in Slack. Is Lubo here? He's not. Does anyone else know about 13.295? That seems to be what's happened.
How can I use KubeVirt with KMU 9.2? That's the question, actually.
Anyone?
So Andre, I put the link to the file on KubeVirt upstream. It points to the RPM deps script file. I think you can modify it. Always you can run then make RPM deps, and I think you will get your build launcher image with the version of the Cube that you want.
Oh, I can do that here. Great.
Yeah.
Very helpful.
Sure, you're welcome.
And we also inform the success of the development of GPU live migration with that technology, okay? Because today is not supported, correct?
Yes, as far as I know, yeah. It will be one of, I think, these goals for the year to work on that. There are some challenges regarding, as far as I know.
I know.
At least one that I know of is something regarding to resource allocation on Livyard side before we start the migration, something like that. It's something we'll have to tackle and to update the migration logic accordingly on Livyard.
Yes. Can you put the link on my comments that you put on the chat here that you show? Image. Oh, here. Oh, you have the link already. Great. Got it.
So we'll move along on if that's all right.
Thank you so much. Move on.
Thank you. David, you got a couple of GPU queries.
Yeah, just following along on the theme, so to speak. Apologies for the formatting of the meeting notes. I can't seem to get the bullet point to appear with the correct
I saw you doing
indexation.
it, and it's like I was in the exact same boat a couple of weeks ago, and I gave up.
Yeah. So yeah, two hopefully fairly quick ones. We've got a number of GPUs that we're running for customers. One of the things I'm looking to understand is what actually causes the GPUs to take so long to, or GPU-enabled instances to take so long to start. So if we have an instance that hasn't got a GPU, it gets to a login prompt inside a minute or so. As soon as we map a GPU into the device, it seems to take a lot longer, to the extent of being half an hour before you get to the OS login prompt and things like the dmessage boot sequence. Whereas it normally flies fast, it is literally taking steps at a time just wondering if that's something others are seeing, or if it's something that's known, or if it's something that's unique to us. And a follow on from that is we've recently taken delivery of some NVIDIA H200 cards. That's got, we're making use of the, or looking to make use of the NVLink devices. As soon as we map the H200 NVLink device through to an instance, the instance fails to start, although the same device which gets used with the H100 cards does work. Yeah, so we'd be interested if anyone's got any experience or anything that touches upon any of that, if they could get in touch.
This is for rendering or artificial intelligence?
This is for AI ML, so yes, the compute side of things rather than rendering.
Let's give people a chance to pipe up if they know the answer to any of your queries. It doesn't seem so. Are you, I'm guessing you're on the Kubernetes Slack channel?
I need to see about joining it. I'm fairly sure I am on it. I just need to dig it out.
Okay, fair enough. And presumably that's probably the best place for people to get in touch with you.
Yep, I'll jump onto there.
And in case you're unaware, the KubeVirt-dev and virtualization channels where we mostly hang out. KubeVirt Dev more for development work, and virtualization more for user work. We'll move along then. We've got nothing in the pull requests, so thank you very much to all of our reviewers working tirelessly to make sure that everything is getting attention. There is 1.5 things to look at on the mailing list. Is Alice here? Doesn't look like it. Just wanted to promote this a little bit. We're now able to migrate the storage of VM using volume migration. However, there is some caveats with that. Yeah, so if you're interested in this, this is the mailing list link here. And there's a subsequent issue created in KubeVirt. There is a question that was raised on the bug that was, I think, partially answered on the mailing list. So let's have a quick look at it here. About the calling APIs. Now, I don't think I've already asked if Lubo's here, and he's not. Regarding cluster bindings, and the Virt API service is reporting a 401. Is Felix here? Nope. So potentially it is an outdated API. But if this speaks to anyone and you happen to know what the problem might be, if you could please jump on that on the mailing list or the bug, which is listed here as well. And finally, we have a flaky test has been fixed. I didn't put the link. There it is. So if my read of this is correct, basically the time limit applied to it was pretty much at the borderline of when it was likely to be up, and so it was failing because of that. So this is just changing how long it was going to wait for. And I suspect from some of these that it seems relatively common enough in some of our tests that the fix for this is just wait a tiny bit longer. this. So I don't know if that's a general takeaway from this. Thank you very much, or if you're here. And unless anyone has added anything, they have not. That brings us to the end of this week's KubeVirt community meeting. I'll give a couple of seconds just in case anyone wants to pipe in with a question or a comment or anything else.
Yes, can I ask something? A long time ago, there was removed the SPICE protocol support. Is that a reason why?
Someone might know better than me, but I think it was because the community wasn't interested in maintaining its own protocol. And I think there was no more work being done on SPICE.
We plan to revisit that and make it work again for okay? Because we think this is important to use to use RDP protocol on Windows, okay? Thank you so much.
Just before you go, Aurel says that there is a mailing list thread about this subject. In which case, we can quickly...
Can you give me the link?
With an answer from Fabian about why we don't support SPICE.
Thank you.
I'm just putting it in the chat, Andre. All right, let there be light.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, does anyone else have a question or a concern that they wish to ask before we wrap up for the week?
I'm fine.
In which case, we will leave it there. Thank you all very much for attending this meeting and for everything you do in the community. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day, an even better weekend, and with luck, we'll see you here next week. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.